Welcome to Behind the Backline, the podcast where we chat with merchants, brands, and industry professionals in the musical instrument, pro audio, and event technology space about their products, services, industry trends, stories, and more. Join us now as we dig into the stories behind our favorite backline gear.
Welcome to Behind the Backline. I'm Matt Jacoby, founder of Octave Media, an inbound marketing agency focused on helping music merchants develop an automated solution to increase website sales. Today, I am speaking with Tony McNally of ToneAlly. Thanks for joining me today, Tony.
Oh, thanks, Matt. It's my pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about who you are and what ToneAlly does.
ToneAlly is a new brand, and my first products are drum products. So I launched at the UK Drum Show in Manchester the back end of September. The two designs that I have are all to do with training the trajectory of the stick. It's a world's first, so there's nothing like this. There hasn't been anything like it before, yet it's very, very simple, and the top pros are loving it, and do you know what? It seems to be fantastic for teaching and learning. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I got to try it firsthand while we were at NAMM, and it definitely has a lot of potential. And it's for those of us who've been playing without something like that for a while, it can be a little frustrating at first because it's force correcting you so much. But I think long term, it definitely would make an impact on my playing.
I get this from students and experienced players saying what you just said there, Matt. I had a fantastic comment from Dom Famularo, he's sort of drumming's global ambassador, as it were. He's mixing with and learning from the world's greatest throughout his life, throughout his career. I mean, from going back from his one-to-one sessions with Buddy Rich, and but now he's talking and interviewing and working with the likes of Peter Erskine and Dave Weckl. But John Famularo, and I'll read his quote if I may. He's about the ToneAlly. I had the opportunity to try the ToneAlly product and was very impressed. This is a fun idea for students to learn precise movement in all hand positions. It guides you to be aware of muscle memory for your hands and teaches accuracy. I wish I had this when I was first learning. Wow. So that's a pretty, I'm still pinching myself from that. From John Famularo. It's fantastic. Yeah, if somebody had told me, Matt, in September, could I, the things that have transpired since that first trade show that I'd done in the UK, and then on to NAMM, and then I've just done the London Education Expo. So if somebody had told me, I would have met the people that I've met, and I would have received the fantastic feedback that I've received from some of the world's greatest drummers. I just would not have believed you.
Yeah,
so it's quite a journey thus far.
Yeah, definitely. And when I was talking to your colleague at your booth at NAMM, it didn't sound. I mean, it sounds like the primary audience is your education market, but it sounds like a very nice refresher course for people who are intermediate and advanced, especially with a quote like that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's very nicely put, that, Matt. I'll use that in my next blog.
Okay. Because we're not perfect either. I mean, we can be playing for 20, 30 years and it can still screw it up. So.
Oh yes, absolutely. And in fact, that's one of the nice things one of the things that I've got on the side of these. I have some wooden boxes, presentation boxes available if people want those. To present the ToneAlly in a wooden box as a gift, as it were. And I've got some quotes on the boxes, which have sort of came about since the launch. And one of the quotes is, it's for for beginners to advanced players. And it's true, because a lot of people initially look at the thing and think, oh, that's for beginners. Oh, it's for beginners, Oh, it's if you're learning. But no, you quite rightly said there, that it's for experienced players too. And I mean, one of the things that Dom sort of mentions there is that you can learn precise movements in all hand positions. So we have a matched grip. I don't know to any of the non-drummers listening out there on your show, Matt, on your this what's it called again, Matt?
Podcast.
Podcast. That's the thing. Oh yes. So the on the one of the things that Dom sort of pinpoints there in his statement, that you can learn precise movement in all hand positions. As drummers, there's several different hand positions you can hold a stick, and one is the most common one these days is the matched grip, where you just pick up two drumsticks as if you were picking up very naturally two suitcases or shopping bags or something, and that's sort of the basis for your matched grip, very simplified, of course. And then you have a traditional grip, the type of thing that you would see in marching bands, drum corps, pipe bands, military drumming, so where you'd have the snare drum in front of the drummer, and they'd usually be standing, perhaps in a group, and they've got one stick which it looks like it's almost horizontal and sideways, which lies in between the thumb and the index finger, usually of the weakest hand. So if you're right-handed, that would be your left hand would hold a stick in a traditional grip, in between your thumb and your index finger, and the stick lies sort of horizontally in between your thumb there, with a sort of a matched grip, a natural grip with the right hand. Hard to explain that without being able to visualize it with an image or a picture, but the ToneAlly has 4 different alleys. These alleys, you put the sticks in, and the sticks, whichever is your chosen grip, the traditional grip or match grip, right-handed or left-handed, it suits all grips and all eventualities if you're left-handed or right-hand. So it's I've thought about that in the design, and then you simply do your practice, put your metronome on if you want, start playing, and it gives you a visual, a very clear visual indication as to what the correct way the stick should travel. A lot of people have said for years and years, probably from the invention of the drumstick, imagine that the tip of the stick is like a bouncing ball. It hits the strike part and bounces straight up a straight line. Simplified, that's what it is, and that's what it does. It helps you to get that straight, clear line, so there's no wasted energy. You're training all the correct muscle groups, and it makes it more effortless.
Yeah, definitely. When you say training all the different muscle groups, that's, I think, where the experienced players like myself come into the frustration. It's almost muscle frustration, because when you feel like it's fighting you compared to how you've been playing for so long, it's probably more, it's easier to adapt to as a new drummer in the educational side than it is as an experienced drummer, just because it's correcting you versus you don't have any prior experience to try and unlearn. So that was kind of my initial reaction to it, because I'm like, okay, this thing's going to fight me, but this is helping me, so I have to keep that in mind.
yeah, absolutely. I've sort of coined a little phrase: the more loose the stick is, the better the technique. So if the stick is loose, it's traveling freely, then the technique is really good. If you've got that fight there, you've got a little bit of unlearning to do for just getting that stick to travel straight up and down, like the great masters. I mean, of course, you could be one of the best players in the world. It doesn't matter. We all can improve, can't we? You know, the world's greatest, like Buddy Rich, Erskine, Omar Hakim, Simon Phillips, Billy Cobham. The list goes on. There's so many of them, isn't there?
Yep.
The brilliant players, John Famularo included as well, you know, Craig Blundell, Thomas Lang, you know, I mean, wow, Thomas Lang, he was the first person to see the ToneAlly at the UK Drum Show, which was in Manchester in September when I launched in the UK. I must tell you this story, Matt. Just before the doors opened, about maybe 15 minutes before the doors opened for the general public, for the trade show.
Okay.
This guy walked down the stairs to my left, and it was none other than Thomas Lang, the great Austrian technician and fantastic drummer that he is, and great all-round guy. What a lovely chap. He just walked straight into my path, you know, and I said, Thomas, can you please give this a try? I've just had this produced, and, you know, I'm very proud of it. I'm passionate about it. Will you give it a try and see what you think? Yeah, sure. So he gives it a go, and I've got all this on YouTube, by the way, on the ToneAlly YouTube station, so you can check this out, guys and girls. So he gave it a really good workout. I mean, he just carved it up like a steak, you know. You know, all the alleys, everywhere but which I was quite expecting them to, you know, turn it upside down and start playing it on his back, you know, or something. He just really took it apart, and it was, and then, yeah, I like it, he says. So wow, you know, I couldn't believe it. So that from that till right up till that comment from Dom Famularo this weekend has just been fantastic. You know, it's been a great unforgettable experience thus far, really, in the last 3.5-4 months since launching have just been absolutely unbelievable. And there's global interest for this new product as well, this new a way of doing things, you know, or a more focused way of doing something that we've been doing for so many years, you know.
Exactly.
It's helping you to focus on the finer details, you know. But by the same token, Matt, I understand what you're saying about it fighting you. When you give it a try first time, it's just, wow, you know, it's like, what? You don't realise you know, you've been maybe slicing your stroke for years and not, you know, it might only be slight, but it really picks that up. I could never play, and I'm not embarrassed to say this, I could never play a traditional grip. I mean, if you've got a grip that works for you, why do you need to choose any other grip? I mean, of course, that makes perfect sense. You know, if you've got a grip that works for you, you don't need any other grip. But it's nice to, you know, get a feel for what these other people are, you know, people who are traditional players, what they're actually feeling when they're playing the kit. You know, you can gain an insight into what it must be like to play like a fantastic traditional player like Buddy Rich, Peter Erskine. You know, with the ToneAlly, it allows you to put the sticks in the way a traditional player would, and it gives you the line, which makes it very, very easy to have a real good go at playing in a traditional way without, well, it's guiding you. So it's like, as somebody said, it's almost like having a bike with stabilizers on, you know, but it's not as uncomfortable as that, mate, I would say.
Yeah. No.
Now, I never had stabilizers on my bike when I learned to ride it when I was a child, but to learn traditional way, then the ToneAlly is for you too, you know. So those advanced players that are out there who, you know, have been playing traditional grip for years and years and would like to play with a matched grip, then the ToneAlly is for you. You know, get one, give it a try. It will certainly help. The times when I ask people to look at their greatest weakness, so what's your weakest hand? If they're right-handed, it'd be their left hand. Have you tried traditional grip? Well, not really. I don't usually play traditional grip. Well, then let's give it a go. Put your left hand in this alley here and just try striking that little pad and lift the stick right up to the top bar. Now, that top bar on the ToneAlly, it's set at just under 12 inches. That gives you a great height of rise, a really good height to focus on. I understand that a lot of the drum corps, they get marked on the height of rise of the drumstick. So again, this is something that is really useful for those drum corps players too, particularly in the States. There's a lot of drum corps players, exceptionally good ones in groups over there, which we don't come close to here in the UK. Although, watch this space, because I do hear that there are several groups springing up even in the northeast of England, where I come from. So that's good.
Well, that's very cool. Yeah, I've always been kind of jealous of drum lines. I've never, I'm like you, I've never felt comfortable or been able to figure out how someone can play traditional grip so comfortably.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's something that, can help you adjust that mindset, or again, unlearn matched grip so you can go between the two of them, I'm all for it. If it gives me a little bit of guidance to get there. So
yeah. I've got a pair of sticks here. I don't know if you can pick this up, Matt. Can you hear this at all or not?
I can, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Is that too much?
No, that works.
All right. Well, I've got a snare drum here. It's a fine drum. It's made by the British Drum Company. They sent me this, which is rather nice. It's Bluebird, and I've got this snare on here, just on the floor, and this is matched grip. And I just placed an inverted double stroke roll or something hand to hand. And this is traditional grip now, as a left-handed would play it. So there's the left hand traditional grip. Here's right hand traditional grip.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really quite comfortable now with going from one to the other through having the device. I know it works, which is very satisfying. Because I can see that I can do it really well. I hate singing my own tune, but I can do it rather well now. As in, the stick comes straight up. I've got the line, because I've been training myself with the ToneAlly on these grips that I wouldn't normally use. I had a little try at traditional grip, could never get away with it. I could never get the line of the stick, lift that stick up with the left hand, with a traditional grip. But because I've been using the ToneAlly, obviously making it over the last 2.5 years, the first prototypes and things in my back garden, I've been giving them a try, and I've been having a good workout. And now I've got a good line with my left hand and right hand. So traditional left-handed or right-handed is a lot more manageable now, because I've been working on this thing, which, the ToneAlly gives you the line, which is absolutely fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. I know it's my product and I invented it. I'm bound to be wanting to sell it. Of course I do. But any of the listeners out there, if you haven't tried it, don't just look at the thing and go, what's that to do with drums? Give it a try, because it's not until you try that you realise that, wow. Just try it yourself. I haven't come across anybody that's been disappointed after trying it for a couple of minutes. So, yeah, cool. And thank you, British Drum Company, as well, for this lovely snare drum here.
Very cool.
So, I'm just trying to think of the journey itself. Matt, you just asked me before about the history of the ToneAlly. I initially thought of the design 27 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Which is quite a while away, yeah. And I was training for a drum competition, like Britain's Got Talent or America's X Factor or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like for drummers, so it was like a drum competition. I guess you probably have national drum competitions over there as well.
Yep.
like we have doing this in the UK. And this was a national drum competition looking for the best undiscovered British drummer. So it was run by Remo Drums. And anyway, cut a long story out short, I was practicing for that, and I was really wanting to improve my technique. So I took a pair of drumsticks, stood them upright vertically with one hand, and put them about an inch apart, put a drumstick in between the pair of sticks that I had, holding with my left hand, and just looked at the trajectory of the drumstick in a mirror and just looked at how I was picking the stick up. I was watching a lot of Buddy Rich and seeing how the line of his sticks, well, Billy Cobham, Phillips again, Omar Hakim, the sticks just come straight up, down like a bouncing ball, what's going on. So I was trying to get that. I wanted to look as impressive as that in a short amount of time. And I thought, this is a great idea. So I started to draw a few ideas down. I actually went on to win that drum competition, which was rather nice.
Yeah.
So since then, I've just been waiting for the idea to come out, really. It never did. And 2.5 years ago, I just thought, I'm going to go for this. It's pointless sitting around waiting for something that I think is going to be great and has great educational value. For it to come out, I should just do it myself. So I got myself a little bit of software, done some drawings, made the first prototype in the back garden, had it sprayed up an undercoat and painted them black, and then took them to show a few friends, and it's just gone on from then. And of course, we arrived at NAMM in January this year, my first NAMM, and which is the biggest trade show on the planet for new musical products, as you know, because you were there, Matt.
Yep.
And we won this award. The award was Best Teaching Tool for Beginner Students for 2018. Quite proud of that. That's brilliant. So
yeah, that is fantastic.
Yeah, I was sitting on a bus, and now one of the NAMM buses on the Saturday evening, going to collect our car in California. And what happened is I got the message through on my phone. I seen that we had won this award, and I just really couldn't believe it, So yeah, it's fantastic news. I'm still pinching myself every day, in between, trying to get the orders out and things like that.
Well, this is great. Yeah, it sounds like you're having a really great momentum with it right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing it kind of start to appear in retail or even here in the States more often. So that's really cool.
Yeah, we're working on distribution for the States, because at the moment, some people are buying them from the States, but the postage is very pricey at the moment. But there's nothing I can do about that. But watch this space. Negotiations with some interested parties, forward-thinking parties who want to get this across the States and help with distribution. On that note, I have some great interest in the UK as well for distribution in the UK. And who knows, when maybe one company can manage the whole lot for us and just manage it globally, and then I can start to work on the getting the next lines out, which would be fantastic. It's been quite a baptism of fire, as it were, and some very interesting people. I mentioned Craig Blundell there. Do people know of Craig Blundell in the States much?
I don't know if I know the name. I can't speak for everyone, so I'm not sure.
He worked for for Roland electronic drums. And had lots of sponsorships. Very good drummer over the years. He's gone on to perform with some fantastic. He's doing a world tour with this guys who used to be in Porcupine Tree. Okay. I don't know if you've come across Porcupine Tree.
Yep, I do know Porcupine Tree. I don't know if I've actually. Well, wait, what'd you say the name was again?
Porcupine Tree.
No, the drummer.
Craig Blundell.
I feel like I saw either him or if there was another drummer for Porcupine Tree that was on Drummeo's videos recently.
Steve Wilson is the guy he's touring with at the moment.
Okay.
Who's was with Porcupine Tree. Very good band. Steve Wilson, the lead singer and guitarist, he's doing his own thing, and Craig Blundell's currently on tour with him. He wrote about the ToneAlly in a tweet, and it's been very supportive. He came to the Manchester Drum Show too, and loved the product. Took a ToneAlly away with him, like as did Thomas Lang and Mel Gaynor from Simple Minds. And he said he wrote, "I've had this on my kit for less than an hour, and already I love it." And he is the best clinician, voted the best clinician in the UK.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. And Thomas Lang was voted by Modern Drummer in a reader's poll as the best clinician for the States. So to have those big hitters be so supportive and like and love the product, it just speaks volumes to me. And I'm hoping the message is getting across to all those teachers and players and performers out there that this is, as we've mentioned along there, is a bit of a thread here. It's not just for beginners. It's for us guys that have been playing for a lot of years too. It's fun to use. It's challenging. As you see, Matt, when you first try it, some people think, "Whoa, it's fighting me," But the more you relax on it and you see what it can do and how it can work your hands. I mean, I must tell you, Dom Famularo, when he was, somebody brought him very enthusiastically to my stand at NAMM and said, "Dom, this is what I've been telling you about. Have a look at this. Have a try of this." And I was busy demonstrating the ToneAlly at the same time as spotting Dom Famularo. Of course, I knew I've got his books and everything. The guy's a genius. And so I'm demonstrating there, and he comes over, and I'm sort of flipping my hands around to show him what you can do with a ToneAlly. This is traditional left, this is traditional right, this is traditional grip. Both hands, and he said, "Beautiful handwork, man. Beautiful handwork."
Very nice.
I was just thinking, what? Dom Famularo saying that I've got beautiful handwork. It's unreal, really. I am trying my very best to be, to inspire and be, to be a great player. I'm not yet. I know that, but till the day I die, I'm going to be working at it, and that's what it's like with us drummers, isn't it? We musicians, we strive for perfection, but we're fighting our own personal battle, aren't we? And along the way, we're trying to, give people some help as well. And if we think of, a good idea, it's worth sharing. Yeah, it's it's a product, it's a business. Yeah, for sure. I'd like to make some money out of it as well. But I believe that for the price of 4 or 5 pairs of good quality drumsticks, this is something that all the drummers out there will be able to find challenging and at the same time fun, and help them to improve their technique and their stick control over the years to come, so that they can be the very best players they can be.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate you taking the time today to join me for this. This has been phenomenal. And I kind of wanted, last thing I wanted to see if you could do was share with our listeners where they can find you online for more information.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. Well, you simply go to ToneAlly.co.uk. Maybe stick a www in front of it. So www.ToneAlly, that's TONE for Edward, or Echo, A for Apple, LLY.co.uk.
Great.
ToneAlly.co.uk. And then you can just, there's a button that says shop. You can hit that shop and look at what's on offer there. And there's 2 designs on there. And there's also a presentation box if you want to give it to somebody for a gift. And in that box, you can you put your sticks, your music and whatever. It's quite a handy little box too. So please do visit the site and check it out. Check also the ToneAlly YouTube channel, which is well worth a look. Certainly you'll be able to see Craig Blundell test this out, Thomas Lang and others too. Even Dom Famularo is on there. And you can see them trying the ToneAlly and, pick up a feel for what it does.
Yeah, so I appreciate it again. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me today. Thank you, to my listeners for listening today to the Behind the Backline, brought to you by Octave Media. You can find Octave Media at octave.media. We do not have a .com. We have a .media, so that is not a typo. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast in iTunes and leave a review. Let us know what you thought of today's episode. We also encourage you to share us with your friends and colleagues on social media, and we hope to see you next time. Take care.